There you
Ta-da.
go. Hey,
Hey,
Now I can
Jack.
see you.
Hey, I'm
Hey,
Brian Kelly. How you
hi
doing, Jack?
Brian. I'm good, man. How are you?
Hey, wonderful. Very
Yeah.
appreciate you talking with us. This is wonderful.
Yeah, not a
yes, indeed.
problem. It's gonna be fun.
Well, I know we have a storm passing over us right now. It's about to get to you. It's over me right now.
Uh-oh.
Uh,
If you just disappear, then I guess I'll know why, right?
we may have to, I don't know, we might have to
So,
reschedule if something
yeah.
happens.
So tell me
If we
about the
see you,
flying tuba behind you, Brian. I'm seeing a flying tuba.
Okay, yeah, that's the modernized reimagination of my dad's old logo for Phil Kelly Productions, and
Really?
yeah, and it was a black and white, kind of like a woodcut looking thing before,
Uh-huh.
and we actually have a copy of it somewhere on the actual website, and it shows the
Yeah.
old one and the new one. The only difference really is the color and
All right.
the little Erte looking guy is pointing the other direction,
Oh,
looking. Yeah, we're looking forward, and
yeah.
before it was pointing the other way. So
Yeah.
just kind of a reimagination of that.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very neat, man. I like it.
Well, it's
thank you. Thank
based
you
on
very much.
It's based on that little Trump tuba that he had in his office. You
Uh-huh.
know, he had a little baritone that was always in there, and he didn't play brass. I'm the one who played brass. His son. I played
Yeah.
tuba and baritone, and
Uh-huh.
Daryl played trombone, and he probably
Yeah.
plays baritone too. I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that,
I'm sure he does. So did Daryl, hey, Brian, did Daryl tell you the weird story about my neighbor?
Oh, I kind of no, not fully, but I kind of remember. He
So
said,
I have this neighbor who lives about a quarter mile that way, back behind me.
"Yeah,
She called me up one day on my phone. I was down at the cabin practicing, and she called me up, and usually it's some kind of emergency or a dog got lost or something. This time I said, "Hey, Kate," and she said, "Phil Kelly." And
oh wow."
I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, what do you know about Phil Kelly?" And I said, "Well, not a lot, but I mean, I know who he was, and I've worked for him." And I said, "How do you know about Phil Kelly?" And then she's told me about Daryl. They were junior high school friends.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that's true. So you're that one that's next to Kate.
yeah, yeah,
Kate
yes.
Larkin. Kate
yeah.
Larkin.
Have you met
Yeah.
her too? You
No,
know her
I do.
too?
I just know the name. Daryl
Uh-huh.
has, because we didn't go to the same school. Daryl's
Uh-huh.
I think a year behind me in high school,
Uh-huh.
and I moved over by them in the mid cities my senior year, so I didn't know anybody. I met Daryl and all the guys that I know in his group after almost I was out of high school already.
Yeah.
I knew Kate long before Brian. It was
Oh yeah,
78 when I met Kate and 89 when I met Brian.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. Anyway, that was pretty freaky and random too. So
Yeah, yeah. What a way to get to know somebody, right?
yeah,
But
really.
it's usually how it works. It's all just who you know, random chance.
Yeah. Yeah. But I've looked at some of the other interviews you guys have done. Lots of friends of mine have already done interviews with you. So yeah,
Well,
Excellent.
that's
on
great.
Randy
Yeah.
Well,
Lee.
we gotta tell you who we're talking with Jack Kelly. I'm sorry, Jack Evans. My gosh, get my names mixed up. Jack Evans, longtime trumpet player, Dallas Fort Worth, and well, like he just said, he's got lots of friends in the business. They've all been around a while. And Jack knew Phil Kelly. He was telling me in an email about his first gig opportunity with Phil. It was a 7-Eleven commercial.
Oh
Mhm.
boy.
Yeah,
Oh.
maybe
Yeah.
we should start with that, Jack.
Okay.
Oh, is that
Sure.
the infamous 7-Eleven recordings where there's some funny ones too?
Well, yeah, it was quite a package. It was a really huge package, but it was not all alike at all in any way. I got a call, probably not from Phil himself, but from someone working for him, and they wanted me to come and do a Phil Kelly session. And I
Okay.
was kind of new to recording at the time. And so I thought, okay, yeah, no way I'm going to turn something like that down. So I showed up, and it was a three-horn session, and it was that kind of disco, the
Yeah.
upbeat disco session, and they wanted kind of a funk horn section sound. And I'd played in a band called Pyramid in Dallas up to that point or previous to that. And so I was kind of real familiar with the funk sound, and there was a sax player and trombone, I believe. So like three horn section.
Oh,
And
wow.
it was a really good session. It sounds great. I mean, I've listened to it before. I was playing it for my son at Christmas, and he was, he was impressed. He's a drummer up in Seattle, so.
Do you have
But
the whole package?
I do not. I do not.
Oh,
I although I have seen on, I guess it might be on you guys' website, the package with it goes from one track to another and
it
plays
might be.
several tracks. Yeah, and I think it's only the 30-second version that's on that, and I believe there was a 60. And what they usually would do, they'd do a 30-second with a stop, and then there'd be another section. Sometimes it'd be a horn section or a solo or something, and then kind of repeat the logo at the end.
Oh,
So I'd
nice.
love to be able to find that 60 because I think he wrote something really cool on that little break, if I recall.
So how
But
long did that session take? The whole package recording it. How long did it take, if
no,
you?
I was not involved in the whole package. I think I was only involved in that one spot. If I did some of the other, it would have been with a big, larger brass section or something, and I don't really recall doing any of it. But
So
oh man, I bet it lasted weeks, probably 2 or 3 weeks,
so
maybe.
were you reading his handwriting, or was it a copyist handwriting? When
More than
did he hit
likely
the
a
music?
copyist. More than likely
Yeah.
a copyist, yeah. Because a big package like that, usually the writers are just going crazy, and then here,
Oh,
take it. Okay.
oh,
And Phil was
clean it
kind of
up.
notorious that way too. He would write up to the minute the session started, I believe so.
Nice.
But
So he had
anyway,
somebody on hand that could like copy it for him, like on the spot, just in case
yeah,
you
I'm
needed to.
I'm kind of going back to Merriman days too, and that's the way Merriman would work. He'd have a whole conference room full of copyists, and he'd be writing right up to the end of the session. And I imagine
Very
Phil
interesting.
Phil did something similar to that. But
Very interesting.
anyway,
So
yeah, and it
so
was like I said, it was kind of a big thing for me because I'd never really specifically been called for a session
Oh, wow.
before. I was usually part of the brass section, you
so
know.
Yeah.
so Phil Kelly was your first time to record a session
Not,
that you
no, I
had.
wouldn't say that. It was the first
Okay.
one I'd ever been specifically called for. I'd done other sessions, but
Oh, sweet.
just as part of the brass. So
Wow.
So, well, you
yeah.
said you were the North Texas band, so
Uh-huh.
you played a bunch of his charts too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
I have a little bit of a story for when I first became aware of Phil. So I was in the 1 o'clock band in like probably 71 and 72, 70, 71 in that time frame. And if you have that on your website, that recording that the band did back then,
yes,
the recording is way too fast, you know.
yes.
Ba, 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 da, ba, ba. Everything North Texas did was too fast. So Zoller had told me that too. But
I,
so I had recorded that, and Jim Scajari was on that recording too. He was in the band at the time. He was a little bit older than the rest of us guys in the trumpet section, and
mhm.
he had been playing with Marini's band at the Villager. Was it called the Villager? And Marini and Phil Kelly had like a rehearsal band, and Scajari called me to go sub there one night, and this is probably in what I say, somewhere 1971, 72, something like
Yeah.
that. That was the first time I ever had seen Phil, met Phil. And of course, Marini, I think, was playing in the 1 o'clock band at that time too. But it was a kicking band, just of course, kicking. But the thing that I remember the most was Don Thomas was playing lead trumpet, and the way a drummer and a lead trumpet are supposed to lock up. Phil was playing drums. I'd never experienced that before, and I can still to this day feel what that felt like. How a lead trumpet player and a drummer lock in, and the band just falls into place. So as a
Wow.
21, 22-year-old kid, man, that made a huge impression on me. So uh,
Yeah.
and I've played with other good lead trumpet players, and I played with Don a whole bunch. But man, that first impression with him and Phil both was something else. So anyway, that's my story about those days. But
Yeah,
That's
it's
a
yeah,
quite the
great
story,
story.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great story.
yeah, yeah. Anyway, see what else do I have? Uh,
Well, you played some charts at school. I mean, do you remember any charts that were available at for the with the lab band side? There's Sweet Georgia upside down.
yeah,
But
that's the one I remember the most, and that's the one that I know got recorded. I do have a couple of recordings from later. One was Jay Saunders' 2 o'clock band recorded something in like maybe when would that have been? 1992. I don't even know what year it would have been, but it was something Phil wrote with a real one of those long funny titles like astrophysical blah blah. Yeah, I don't remember. If I brought it down here, I would be able to read it to you. But and then Rodney Booth has a little 10-piece band that he's recorded some with, and he has a couple of Phil's charts in his book, and they're always so fun to read, to play on his gig. And he also recorded a couple of those things of Phil's, but and those were custom for Rod's band because it was maybe like a 10 or 12-piece band. So Phil wrote
Yeah.
specifically for Rod. So, but
I can't wait to talk to him. I spoke with
He's
him at the end of February, and he said he's retiring as professor right now, and
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
he's kind of busy, but he said he appreciates our patience and he's going to get with us. So
Oh, good. Yeah, he'll
yeah.
be a gold mine. He had a lot of dealings with Phil over the years. After I kind of left the recording business, and Rodney and several other trumpet players kind of started taking over and playing more sessions. So as
did
Phil
you
was
know?
at,
Did you know Galen Jeter? They were playing with.
yeah, I know Galen. Uh-huh. I bet he played a lot of Phil's charts with his
Yeah,
band.
he had a funny story. I saw him a couple of weeks ago, and he asked me about a photograph that he saw at the front of Phil's house, and it
Yeah.
was kind of an X-rated nature, and I
Oh,
had no idea what he was talking about.
I didn't
But
either. I've never
yeah,
seen that. And I've been to my dad's house and I don't know what he was talking about.
I wonder. Here, I'm going to get off script a little here, but I wonder if it has anything to do with Galen's one of Galen's favorite sayings.
oh,
Have you ever heard any of Galen's sayings? This one was,
oh,
"Oh, it feels really nice outside today. I think I'm going to leave it out." I
I
wonder if
like
it had
that.
anything to do with that.
That's funny. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well,
My dad had that kind of sense of humor too.
yeah,
Yeah, he's a
yeah.
very funny guy.
Galen's the hoot. He's still going.
Yeah.
So,
so outside of the recording sessions and that the time you played with him in the rehearsal band, was that pretty much it? Did you
probably
ever
as
have
far
any?
as hands-on, yeah. I mean, I'm sure I was in some sessions of his later, but Booth and horns out here, and over the talk back, and so I never really had uh, one-on-one dealings with Phil. But I have another funny story.
All
Okay,
right.
Well,
and
that's better.
this probably happened in around 1976. And this is
Mm.
during the time I was playing it with the band Pyramid. It's a funk band. I don't know if you guys are familiar with them or heard
I've
of them.
heard of it. I've heard of
John
it. Yes.
Bryant and Randy Lee were kind of co-leaders of the band. And Chuck Mangione was going to be at Mother Blues. And
Oh,
so two or
wow.
three of us guys and our wives or girlfriends or whatever decide to go up there and catch the show. Well, we're just standing on the steps to Mother Blues outside. And we're just thinking we're just going to walk in there. So, and Mother Blues wasn't very big, really. So this
Uh-uh.
big convertible, like big Buick convertible or something, pulled up behind us. Have I got you, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had the top down, and there was a woman with him. Who would that have been? With Phil and
Susie.
Susie. Okay.
Yeah.
In 76. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, he pulled up and said, "What are you guys doing?" I said, we're going to go in and see Chuck Mangione. He says, have you bought tickets? No, are we supposed to? We're like 25-year-olds, duh.
Uh,
And I just remember that. And he just laughed and drove on and parked his car and came in and went to the show.
that's funny. Oh
Didn't
my gosh.
None of us got to go. Anyway, yeah,
That's unbelievable.
ignorance versus the experience, you know.
What I mentioned about the 7-Eleven commercial is I heard a lot of alternate lyrics added to the same commercial.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
what I was referring to. Trella singing about pornography under the counter and stuff
Oh,
like that. Yeah, there's
oh, I
nudie,
never
but
heard any of those.
it's fantastic, and I know it's we're going through so much music. I actually have his old computer, and once we fire that up, we will have probably some things that I don't think we have yet,
Yeah,
because that stuff was hidden away on his
yeah.
computer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he had this one real funny thing that was Christmas songs just bad.
Oh
Just sung really badly, almost like P.D.Q. Bach or something like that. Just
uh,
everything flat.
yeah. Well, man, as talented as he was, I mean, he could have fun with pretty much anything and make
Yeah,
anything sound hilarious.
yeah,
But
that's
then
funny.
again, the end product was always going to be
You
unbelievably
know,
good. So,
I still remember how hard that Phil laughed when you pulled
uh,
that didgeridoo out of the crate. We moved there and you said, "Hey, Dad, you went and got the didgeridoo," and you started blowing on it that low
Oh
the
hum,
yeah, yeah.
and he
I had
started cracking up.
didgeridoo.
yeah, yeah. I brought my didgeridoo with him. I actually left it up there in Washington. I gave it to a guy down
Oh,
the street. Yeah,
Um,
I couldn't
we
pack it. It's too big.
yeah.
we've got Phil on video laughing his ass off.
Oh
Oh, you
gosh,
play that.
that's great. So Brian, I want to ask you something
Sure.
about Phil's years up there in Bellingham.
Yeah.
Um, um, I guess you probably got to spend some time with him towards the later on.
I actually moved up there and sold my salon and everything to take care of him. And
Uh-huh.
before I got up there, a flood happened, and that just messed a bunch of stuff up. When we got
Oh,
there,
yeah.
we actually were there for almost, I want to say, about a year,
Uh-huh.
but he was only there with us for about 90 days.
Of that year. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and so as soon as I got up there, I took over kind of working with the contractors and everything, trying to get the flood fixed.
Yeah.
And and they're telling them the same stuff, and I go, listen, Dad, don't listen to them and say it's going to be 12 weeks. This is going to go on until
Yeah.
next year, and they weren't being truthful with them, and
Yeah.
so they brought a new contractor in, and I became really good friends with him. I
Yeah.
still am friends with him,
Yeah.
and he says, I appreciate you telling him the truth. That's my company that does that. It was ServPro or somebody
Uh-huh.
like that, you
Yeah.
know. And they take advantage of old people up there in the Northwest because
Yeah.
everything's wood and everything dissolves because of the
Yeah.
rain. And that's just basically what happened. This thing was a weird thing with the caregivers, so we don't really know what happened, but the
Yeah.
washing machine malfunctioned and flooded the house. And
Oh, shoot.
so we made the best of it and we got to
Yeah.
do what we did. I ended up with this dog. I still have Daisy with me.
Oh, do
So,
you really?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, I still
shoot.
have Daisy with me. She's still hanging in there.
Yeah.
And now it's been so long. Now I'm kind of dealing with my mom who divorced from him. So
Yeah.
she's kind of it's still affected her him passing. So
Yeah.
now she's kind of on that last train trip sort of.
Yeah.
So
But
we're, you know
we all get there, don't we?
that's it. It's
Before
what you
that.
do on the way. That's what you got to
Yeah.
remember,
Yeah.
and make
Yeah.
sure there's good music. That's
Yeah.
the whole deal.
So I used to see a lot of Facebook posts from Gerald Stockton, and he indicated he used to go up there and spend some time. Is that a bad or good subject?
I know Gerald,
Uh-huh.
son,
Uh-huh.
and I worked at Absolute Entertainment for 15
Oh, did
years.
you?
So
Uh-huh.
I know some of those music copiers were my boss
Yeah.
At Absolute. He worked for my dad. One of my bosses did.
Mhm.
So, but kind of knew Gerald from just stories. You know, when you get in gigs, you hear stories about Gerald and everything. So, when I talked to my dad about coming up there, and he says, "Well, Gerald just left, and he
Uh-huh.
had been there for a good 6 months, maybe,
Yeah.
and Will had been there before that. So my dad was trying to get somebody to visit, so." There would just be somebody there, you know,
Yeah.
basically,
Yeah.
other than the caregiver. So Will was there, and then Gerald went up there, and Gerald's task was to try to help him, you know, finish some pieces that are still, you know,
I see.
yeah,
We had some musical things he was.
yeah, he had three things, and we're dealing with that, but basically, uh, you know, all the stuff with Gerald and his wife and everything. He
Yeah.
left there, and third time was a charm when he got home, and it wasn't long after he'd left my dad. So
Yeah.
that was a big shock. I didn't know about that until I got up there,
Yeah.
and it pretty much caused my dad, between that and a fall, to stop drinking completely after dealing with Gerald. And we actually found on the computer conversations. He would hit the record button and just record Gerald, so everybody would know, you know, he's trying to deal with Gerald for what he was going through. So
Yeah.
it's a weird, real weird situation, but
Sounds weird. Yeah.
I just
I
kind of
was
did.
curious about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of dealt with it the best I can, and you know that's, and we're piecing together a puzzle between, you know, everybody who played for him. We just haven't even got to the Seattle people yet,
Yeah. No
you
kidding.
know.
He did some fabulous work up
Yeah, I
there.
know, and there's a lot of people up there that you know.
Yeah.
I got his Facebook, so I know the
Yeah.
list of people that are where they're
Yeah.
from and all that.
Yeah. There's some wonderful players up there, man, and they were playing the crap out of his music too, you know. So
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
That's it.
we
I have
we'll
one of
find them.
those albums he did. I have Convergence, I think, and
yeah, that was the first one.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I need to get the others. Yeah.
Oh, well, that's the other thing. We're trying to figure out how we can, you know, but we're running low on the Beagles and the museum one. That's
Yeah.
the problem. But you know, Convergence Zone,
Oh, but we have links to all the CDs on our website, so you can listen
Okay.
to, yeah,
yeah,
on the
Okay.
online music
yeah,
links page. It's the
Okay.
as his own CDs is
Yeah.
you'll see them. There's
Yeah.
My Museum and
Yeah.
the Beagles.
So, Daryl, I think you had mentioned somewhere that you had gotten access to all the call sheets for a lot of his Phil sessions.
Oh, that's starting. I'm still talking with the Secretary Treasurer at the
Okay.
union, Aaron Pino,
Aaron,
and
sure.
he's right now kind of busy. I guess it's
Yeah.
that time of year when he's really busy. So I'm
Yeah.
waiting. We've talked already about what he can do to help me and what I can do to help
Mhm.
him
Yeah.
researching call sheets.
Yeah.
And he says it's a lot of old paper and old
I
organization,
bet.
and
Yeah.
it, his project is digitizing
Yeah.
everything.
That would be
And
cool. Yeah.
I don't want to slow him down because I know he's probably got a monumental task,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I kind of get an idea because I have to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Um,
that kind of interested me because I had asked Pete Brewer, sent him a text if he remembered doing that session for Phil because I was thinking it would be, you know, trumpet, sax, and trombone, him, myself, maybe Pete. His response to me was, and I described the session, and his response to me was, "I'm supposed to remember something like that."
yeah, I get it.
yeah.
And
I
I said,
really
"Sure,
do.
why not? I do." But it
That's
was
funny.
more important to me probably than it would have been to him. He'd probably already been doing stuff for Phil. So for me,
Yeah,
it was a big deal. So
yeah. Well, and
yeah.
then there's the Lou Fisher Club. My dad was kind of in on Capers too, so
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was when Pete and Lou
Oh
were,
yeah.
yeah, and Rich Madison and all those guys were.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an interesting place.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to tell you, Lou Fisher sent me a copy of Sweet Georgia Upside Down,
Uh-huh.
but it was distorted after like the 2 minute 11 second mark. Couldn't use it. So
Really?
I asked Bill Collins if he could possibly have a copy, and I told him Lou said it was okay to post it,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah.
Bill sent me a copy through
Yeah.
Facebook. So
Yeah. Bill will get you a
Awesome.
clean copy. Yeah.
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 Bill's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, he's documenting the crap out of Dallas Fort Worth stuff, man. Jeez.
Well, we started on the Phil installation up there. We got one picture up there so far,
Yeah.
and some music. There's the music. He's got a Sonos setup up there that's fantastic. If you hadn't been up
yes,
there yet,
Uh-huh.
it's amazing.
You talking about up at the museum?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has Sonos speakers and he has them working the way they're supposed to work, and it's just amazing. I've been reading up on them, and
Yeah.
they're crazy, man.
Yeah.
He can pull up any piece of music in that whole museum and play it for you.
I went up there with a trumpet player friend of mine from out here in Tyler. We drove up there last summer, I think, and Bill gave us the tour on one of their closed days, just Bill and JT and myself, and we had a great time. I remember those speakers. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were nice. I'd never really heard them at that level before. I
Yeah.
always hear a little one, or
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
in a restaurant or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
That's fine. Wow. So you're in Tyler, huh?
I'm in Ben Wheeler.
Oh, wow. So right
That's
outside. Yeah.
25 miles this side of Tyler. Yeah.
Yeah.
I,
I've,
I've got a I have a question for you about we're mentioning this Ben Wheeler. In the
Yeah.
90s, I made money skirting mobile homes, and I went everywhere around North Texas, and I
Oh
was
yeah.
definitely in Ben Wheeler and Canton. And there was some guy skirted his house, and he said, "I'm in commercial music. I write jingles and stuff, and I did like 7481414."
Uh-huh.
And I
Really?
said, "Well, I can't remember his name, but I wish I could because I'd be
Uh-huh.
reaching out to him, whoever that was."
So a musician and now what time frame? 80s, 90s?
Early 90s. He was living in a mobile home out there, and it might not have been in your county, but it's in that area.
Okay, I'm not sure
It could
about
it
the
could have
the
been
one name that
Longview,
the
Mount
one name
Pleasant.
that comes to my mind of somebody that could have been doing that, really talented musician, keyboard, trumpet, even vocals, is a guy named Daryl Holt. And I don't know if he would have lived in a mobile home. I believe he was teaching at Stephen F. Austin some, but
Okay, I'll
Nacogdoches.
I'll look him up.
Yeah. Anyway, but
uh,
yeah, he was definitely in that talent regime there where he had enough talent to do that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Jack, I hope you had a good time talking with us today.
Oh, absolutely, man. You guys are a hoot, and I'm really I enjoyed hearing your perspective on your dad, Brian.
oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. He
Yeah.
was one of a
Well, we're
kind.
gonna keep digging away at it, and we're
Yeah,
eventually gonna, I'm kind of the holder of the catalog, and we're trying to figure out what we're supposed to do at this point. So
yeah, I
it's
know.
it's
It's
ASCAP time.
yeah, it's already massive. Hey, I have one more question for Daryl. Daryl, I saw something on Facebook the other day, like an old Glenn Miller band with Clem DeRosa leading the band, and it was like a 30-minute video, but I started off, and the very first thing they played was Sweet Georgia Upside Down.
Oh,
And
Wow.
so I think I tried to tag Phil's name in my response, but I just put a comment in there, said, "Yeah, this started off with Sweet Georgia Upside Down by Phil Kelly." So,
Wow.
if you want
oh,
to tag my name in it, then I'll be able to see it. And I
okay.
would
Mark Taylor is who posted that, reposted it.
Okay. We'll
Yeah,
look up Mark
yeah. Go
Taylor.
back and look at Mark's stuff. You,
All
Mark
right.
stuff. Yeah, I spoke with him a little bit last month.
yeah,
He went to
yeah.
a seminar, Brian, at North Texas. Phil was doing a seminar on music advertising,
Uh-huh.
composing.
Oh,
Oh,
And
and that's
50
that.
years ago, he said he didn't take notes, and Phil said nobody could record it. So if it's at North Texas, I've got to talk to them about they might have it archived. Who
they might
knows?
Yeah.
have it archived. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Well, guys, I've really had a great time talking, and best of luck to your project. I'm going to keep watching it. I
Thank you,
know it's
sir.
changing every day, every hour probably, but I'm going to keep tabs on it. So,
All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Well, I
Well, yeah,
appreciate it, Jack. It's
All right.
wonderful talking to you.
Stay in touch, sir. Go tackle those lip slurs.
Oh boy,
I
yeah.
have to do that now. So
Arpeggio time, yeah.
practice time. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Absolutely. Take
Thank
care,
you.
sir.
Bye bye.
Yeah, you bet.